You're listening to Spring River Chronicle. Audio on the go.
First National Banking Company. Get checking that pays with Super Plus Checking at FNBC.
Coping with tragedy. As the local community is hit with another tragedy, health professionals offer advice and help for coping with the aftermath. By Lauren Siebert. Once again, the Quad Cities area has been affected by a tragic loss, when 18-year-old Cave City High School student Corey Young took his own life in the early morning of February 2. A shocking number of tragedies have affected the area community in the past year, not only in Cave City, but in the Quad Cities and the Spring River area as well. It's like we don't have time to recover from one before another happens, and we don't know how to deal with this right now, said one student from Cave City. It is quickly becoming apparent just how overwhelming the scale is, and how much the students truly are affected. According to Jamie Garcia, Director of Children's Clinical Services for the Health Resources of Arkansas, the stressors teens face on a day-to-day basis have changed from the stressors their parents faced when they were in school. There are, unfortunately, a lot of stressors children deal with in the social settings these days, and the most beneficial thing they can do is talk to an adult, Garcia said, someone they can trust and confide in. Garcia explained how it can sometimes be difficult to bridge the gap into understanding. However, communication is vital. They need to be as open-minded as they can about what someone thinks and how they feel. Reaching out and asking for the help is the first step, Garcia noted, explaining how crucial it is to build rapport. If they don't find a person who is responsive, they need to talk to someone else. Garcia advised, be as open as possible. It goes back to talking to someone they feel comfortable with and who is actively listening. It is important to have someone who isn't gonna downplay it or make excuses. Garcia also acknowledged that sometimes it can be difficult for kids to feel comfortable talking with someone about the way they feel, out of fear of being seen as different. She also noted that there is a common misconception and stigma that is associated with admitting there is a problem, and especially with seeing a therapist or counselor. Due to all the stress they face each day, challenges they need to feel confident. It isn't considered mental illness just because you have depressive symptoms or anxiety, Garcia said. It's called mental wellness. According to Garcia, it doesn't matter whether you're a young child, teen, or adult. These things are treatable and they can recover, hopefully in a short time frame. It doesn't have to impact their entire life. Garcia explained that just talking to someone and having a support system can sometimes alleviate that feeling of sadness, and it can also lead to help from someone who is trained and can provide even more help. If anyone is having a bad day and just down in the dumps and they're not experiencing pleasure in the things they typically do, but it's not impairing their functioning, Garcia noted, everyone goes through that at one time or another. But if they're experiencing it and it's lasting for days, and they feel they don't have control and it's impairing their function, Garcia explained, that would be the time to be preventative. Garcia also noted, however, that does not mean it will necessarily end in treatment. Another vital subject Garcia was able to expand on was how important it is to find an adult to speak with. Although peers give the most helpful advice they can, when it comes down to it, they may be going through the same situation. Adults can help provide more stability, as well as insight from life experience. Speak with an adult that you feel comfortable with. Kids do try to give best advice they know how, but sometimes there may be things that are outside of their knowledge range, Garcia said, or they may give advice that seems right, but ends up being unintentionally more harmful than helpful. Garcia added that it is also possible that friends or peers may not have good coping skills, and that sometimes they too are overwhelmed, and avoid the issue to take their mind off the situation, which may not be positive. According to Garcia, watching out for each other is key, and no one should be afraid to speak with someone outside their circle. It is important to remember that members of the community, whether it be a high school, church, work, or otherwise, needs to be supportive to each other, Garcia mentioned that it is extremely vital not to brush off comments made or posts from social networking sites. If you see something that concerns you, don't reprimand, but do take every message seriously, Garcia said. Be aware of what's going on, and don't ignore how people are feeling. If a peer makes a comment that concerns you, immediately go to the school counselor and let them know, Garcia added. Hopefully all parties will be supportive in saying this isn't a consequence, you're not in trouble. Their interest is in helping them to feel better about whatever is going on. If you would like more information, or just want someone to talk to, please contact a counselor, pastor, or mental health provider in your area, or visit www.healthresourcefark.com online.
Thanks for listening to Spring River Chronicle Audio on the Go. Be sure to subscribe to the paper and check us out online at myspringriver.com.